What to do with $30,000. So let's check this out. We have $30,000 saved for a down payment on a home. So that basically means that they're kind of like looking for around $150,000 for the purchase price of a home. We aren't confident exactly when we will purchase, but our goal is to continue to save and purchase within the next year. So I guess in a high cost of living area. My question is, what's the best place to park this savings where we have easy access, but also can maybe earn interest? So, because this is such a short range of time, probably within like a year, basically, maybe a little bit more, depending on the interest rates and all that kind of stuff, you'd probably want to just park this into a high yield savings account. Now, there's like quite a few of them out there. There's like Ally Bank. You could stick it into like Robinhood, get like 4.65% right now as like a gold member, which is pretty nice. So, I mean, you could probably make like an extra like $100 or whatever about per month, maybe like $80 per month while you wait, while you're stockpiling more and more cash, right? Like because this is specifically for a down payment and specifically that you're going to be pulling out your money, it does not make sense to put this into basically any sort of investment. It really only makes sense to literally stick it into a high yield savings account, and that's basically it. Don't stick it into like Bank of America. Don't stick it into whatever like local bank that you got unless they offer you like over 4% right now, because then it just doesn't make sense, right? Let's see some of these comments. Which, by the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40inbox.com or in the description below, and stay tuned for more financial commentary. Yeah, 1 year is very short term. Agreed. Keep it in a high yield savings account of your choosing and move it over to check in a few weeks or more before your intended closing date. They say, thanks for the response. I'll check this out. Any recommendations on good HYSA? Again, there's like Ally Bank, there's like Robinhood as well that you could just use for like the cash sweep thing. 5% of $30,000 is $1,500, which in the grand scheme of home ownership is nothing. So, yeah, put into an HYSA, but don't lose sleep over it. Agreed, right? It's not like a game changer. But having a little bit extra money by the time that you buy your home ain't too bad, right? Because like let's say that you have the 30,000 plus the extra money that you save up for it plus the interest that it has made you over the time. Let's say that like by the end of it, by the time that you actually go buy your home, you got $30,000 for the original down payment plus 2,000 from like interest plus like an extra like 5 to 6 grand of extra money that you saved. Like one, you got the down payment, you got like a kind of like small emergency fund used for like after expenses after purchasing the home, just in case something happens, or if you want to maybe just maybe get more furniture for the home or whatever, or like spruce it up. Like having extra money is never a bad thing. High yield savings account, just open up an account online. Yep, agreed. And HYSA is perfect. Also, I don't know where you reside, but in my city, we have down payment assistance programs. For me, they are basically giving me a 0% interest second mortgage of around 40K to help with down payment and closing costs, and it only requires me to put down around 4K out of my own money. Just throwing it out there in case it helps you and you can look into it. Also, for those that don't know, depending on your income and just like your financial situation, there are programs out there that can actually help you and like literally just give you like 10K towards your down payment. Not only that, there's also like if you're in like extreme situations in terms of like money, like let's say that you're like in basically poverty level, there are things where you could actually apply for it and they will pretty much pay like half of your potential mortgage, which is pretty crazy. And every single state has it. I forget what it's called, but just look up like government assistance programs for poverty income, and you can basically go find something where, depending on your situation, you gotta meet certain criteria. You could, even at poverty income level, end up basically having a nice house, like a livable house, right? Or even a farm, because there's also assistance programs if you want to build your own farm too. So there's like a lot of programs out there that are designed to actually help people buy their home, regardless of basically their income level. But obviously, having way more money for a down payment, being financially secure, is definitely the way to go. HYSA, I have mine at Capital One. Just saw this morning that Capital One raised their 360 savings interest rate to 4% even. And again, like I said, Robinhood is like 4.65%. Are you 100% positive you'll buy within the next year? Only 30K down in a high cost of living area is a bad recipe. Well, it really depends on what is the cost of the home, right? High cost of living does not necessarily mean that the cost of the home is way high, right? It's just something to think about. So, like, things just might be generally more expensive in the area, but the home itself may not be that expensive. I'm assuming that 30K is actually a 20% down payment. You'll also need to save a 30K to 40K emergency fund on top of the money for the down payment. Lenders will look at the cash you have on hand. Not always the case. Sometimes it really depends on just your income to debt ratio. That's like the biggest factor. Let's see. Anything else? Don't bother with a money market savings account. Just go with a high yield savings account. Like, there's no point to put that in there. Let's see. Wow, a lot of deleted stuff. Weird. I put mine on the Apple high yield savings account. Already made like 150 to 200 in just over a month. Crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like crazy. Like, the great thing about having like a high yield savings account that is actually paying really good yields is that you're basically making money doing basically nothing. But in the grand scheme of things, you're like, wait a minute. They're paying me 5%, 4%, whatever. But how much money are they making off of that? Like, like how bad is the economy doing if they're willing to do that? Wait till the interest rates come down if you can. Like, see, this is the interesting thing, right? Like, I understand why this person's saying that. Because with a higher mortgage interest rate, you can afford only a cheaper home, right? With a lower interest rate, you can afford a more expensive home, like in terms of like purchase price, because the minimum payment per month is far lower. But the problem also is that the lower the interest rates, the more the home prices are going to be because there's going to be more demand to actually buy homes. But the higher the interest rates, the cheaper the home prices are going to be because there's going to be less demand to buy homes because interest rates are too high. Like, it's like a really like weird scale that you got to basically balance and kind of like time, kind of like ideally. Like, for example, right now, nowadays, right? It'd probably be best if you had like a crazy amount of cash to just start buying up properties on the cheap, right? So that you don't got to deal with the interest rates, but you have a massive discount on some of these homes. Like there's some homes that I've seen that got like a 30-40% discount from where it was like 2 years ago. Like something crazy, right? But you got to have the cash to be able to buy those types of homes, which many people do not. But a lot of investors do. So a lot of homes that might be an amazing deal right now for many people are getting bought up like crazy by investors who are just sitting on massive piles of cash. Right? Like if you're an investor and you got like $1 million in cash, it literally makes no sense for you to go buy homes on interest rates like with mortgages right now. It literally makes way more sense for you to just buy all these homes in cash for like a 30-40% discount, ride the wave after the few years and profit like a crazy amount on appreciation, and also not even take any risk in terms of like monthly cost of just running the property because everything's just paid off and you just got like property taxes and insurance. So I don't know, it's pretty crazy when you really think about it. But yeah, in this situation, just stick it inside a high yield savings account. The timeline is just too short. You don't want to accidentally lose some of your money by putting it into like investments. So that's what I would do in this situation.